2016 ICF Canoe Slalom Cross. It is quarterfinals, semi-finals and finals day. So 4 athletes are launched from a frighteningly high pad on the bridge just next to the start of the slalom course. They then battle their way. Well, I say battle, not really, because you have to keep both hands on the paddle. They're in creek boats. They come down and their first gate is after about 40 meters over the first couple of drops. They need to go through a defined side of that. I believe it's river right. They then come down round the bend where we just saw a few minutes ago in the finals was gates 10, 11, 12, and it's gate number 2. It's a downstream gate. How do you know that? Well, it's green. You go river bank side of there. You then go under the second bridge. There's 2 bridges in this horseshoe shaped situation in Po, and then it's an Eskimo turn upstream on the gate, then 2 more down. Look at the heats we're going to have today. You've just seen them in front of you on your images. So a lot of very familiar names are going to be competing. Most of them have been competing over the weekend with different degrees of success in the kayaks and the canoes. And we just wish everyone safe fighting and have a lot of fun on the water. The images you can see, gates 3 and 4, you can see the upstream with the EDF stickers on it, and the roll, which means turn. Roll 360 degrees. The idea is the first 2 from the quarterfinal are going to advance to the semi-final, and the first 2 from the semi-final will naturally advance to the final. So it's men's individual and women's individual. And we had a lot of fun with the heats, and the way it actually worked was yesterday afternoon, or yesterday evening rather, there were I think 50 men and 20 women who each went individually against the clock. Why did they do that? Well, it was to decide the seedings. The seedings are where you're allowed to start from on the launch pad, and I believe the top was gate number 2, or section number 2, they decided was the fastest. But to be fair, there was very little in it. It's a case of who has the quickest start, who bounces off. It's about 4 or 5 meters high up. So you need to have a good bounce, and then a good section, a good roll, a good upstream. We saw quite a few changes of place yesterday in the upstream. There's only one upstream gate, it's about 20 meters after the second bridge, and then it's a case of a flat-out sprint to the finish. So I say most is expected to be decided around the roll and the upstream gate. But let's see the action here. In Po, the weather has been absolutely appalling for the last 3 or 4 days, but it looks like it's been dry for the last 20 minutes. The girls in Martina Wegman, she won last week. She's won here before in Po from Holland. Spent most of her time in New Zealand due to her connections there. And we have Celia Joda also looking to go on. Well, you see the different colours of their bibs. Don't look at the boats, look at the bibs. Veronika Rachova from the Czech Republic had good performance over the weekend in the K1. Very powerful, very strong and very determined. Being introduced to the crowd. Now there's a good crowd here. A lot of people sitting around this bend, the inside bend that you won't be able to see for your cameras. Well, we only have 3 athletes in this actual heat. So green, blue and red. A lot of disqualifications in this sport, so we actually don't know who's won until the official results are given. For the fans here, it's live TV, and there's a big screen just behind the gate so they can all exactly see what's going on, and also the athletes from where they're starting, they can see if they're on TV or not, so they actually know when to wave and put on their pretty smile and when on to have their game face on. So we've had a really fun World Cup. We've had a double World Cup, in fact, here in Po. There's been the Slalom World Cup. It's the 3rd of the season, and it's the 4th and last World Cup of the season in the Whitewater World Cup. So lots of different sized boats. The only thing in common is that everyone seems to thrive on white water. Well, they're going to just be ready to start being presented. And I think the first coming around the first gate is fairly decisive. Martina Wegman being nothing phases her. And here they're off. Well, it's the red who has the best start as the green and the blue are fighting it out as a personal battle. But Vojtova from the Czech Republic is certainly leading the ball, as we see. Coming in front of our commentary positions, this is the second downstream gate. You see, you really have to hug the water. You're allowed to touch the gates, as you can see. You're allowed to whack them out the way. Martina Wegman now coming into her own. And this is where you need to do in the Eskimo turn. Most of the girls have chosen to go before the drop, put them in a good situation. And again, Megman's making a bit of a meal of that. Now it's the upstream. And it's fairly plain sailing after that. Just two simple downstream gates to go. And crosses the line, so in red, it's Veronika Vojtova from the Czech Republic, and Martina Wegman from Holland will fight in the semi-finals. So it'll be the first in the semi-final. It's going to be the first two in quarter-final one, which that was, against the first two in quarter-final two. So you're frequently racing against the same competitors. See, mechanical clip, and it's very much a case of advantage was on the left-hand stream, and after that it was all over. You won't see a better Eskimo roll than that all day. You probably won't see a worse one than that. You're allowed to barge out the gates as long as you go through them. So it's gone through many names. We've actually settled on Slalom Cross, which makes a lot of sense. And they're in plastic boats. They're in the creek boats, so a little bit tougher and a little bit easier to throw around than the delicate slalom boats and the wild water boats we've seen. So next three to go up. Well, Kate Eckhart from Australia, she's been competing the last two World Cups. Father won was 1992 Olympian. Sage Donnelly, obviously very, very experienced in big water. And Alexis Degremont. Don't know much about Alexis. We'll have to see what happens here. And Sage and Kate both competed in Sao last week. Australians, I think they're present in pretty much all the events here. And they're off. There's a big go. Again, it looks like there's an advantage on left-hand rivers. So it's the red bib is away first. And holding a line, just saying, I'm French, don't move out of the way. Oh, but there's a bit of a, you can go anywhere you like, but you're just going to have to turn it round. But look at that, there's a bit of freestyle paddling there. Still going on, but in the blue coming next to her, you have to move both across to the left because there's quite a tight gate coming up. Well, red, she's managed to, young Frenchie, she managed to keep going on all the way. Having a bouncy run, let's see how she does the Eskimo turn. Perfect, so it doesn't really lose any momentum, situation's the same. All three girls up and out straight away. So as you see in your picture, it is the red of Alexi who is leading at the moment. You can decide which way you want to go. As you see on gate number 3, the upstream, you have two combinations. And it looks like the blue on the left-hand side really took a good call there. It's the first two that go into the next round. I will have to look and see if any disqualification. I'm not sure. They all went around the right side of gate number 5. We'll have to see who's there. Well, it's a bit of confusing at the moment. Well, they certainly made it across the finishing line, but did you go round the right side of the gate? Yeah, Kate Gethard disqualified. Degremont and Donnelly fight again. Alexis Degremont, winner of heat number 2. So it's a case of Martina Wegman against Vojtova, who won the first qualification. Against, it's going to be Alexis Degremont against Sage Donnelly. So they're 4 very, very good competitors who are going to go into the first semi-final. And now we're going to look and see who's going to advance to the second semi-final. You have to go the right side of there, and Kate Eckhart was judged not to have done that, unfortunately. Well, I have 4 athletes now in this semi-final. So in blue, it's Irene Barber from Italy. Yellow, it's Luz Casane Maria from Argentina. Green, Caroline Loire, who's been on the microphone all weekend. And the niece of the legendary Stepanka Hilgertova in the red for the Czech Republic. Amelia Hilgertova in the red. So blue, yellow, green and red. Caroline Loire is in the green, looks to have the most solid start, but she obviously knows this water like a back of her hand. Oh, I think this has got at least 1 disqualification, maybe 2. You have to go to the river side of that gate, so we'll see who's coming through at the moment. Well, in the red at the moment, it's Amelia Hilgertova. Did she go around the right side of the first gate? We'll actually see. Second is Caroline Loire. Third in the green is... well, that could be... no, here we go. Turning over. Red, Amelia Hilgertova looks like she's first. Caroline Loire from France in the green bib is second. I say you can choose which side you want to go up this. Now that's quite clever. She's using the team event technique. If she'd actually tried to go early there, she'd have been blocked by the others. So that's a very fine tactician there, and deserves to win, even if it's just because of that. So red wins with a fine technical victory, and Caroline Loire, first time she hasn't had either the winner's flag or microphone in her hand all weekend, takes the second place. So Hilgertova ahead of Loire. That's good for locals, have a bit of interest, local interest. So you see, it's so easy to have a disqualification on the first gate because there's 4 of you battling. You have to really go across. If you look in the slow-mos here, you'll see at least one of the athletes didn't make it. Can you see that? It's right on the edge. But they must have been practicing these Eskimo towns because they're all incredibly efficient. So last quarter-final for the women to come up. Suitably the Bond music in the background. It's Hayley Daniels in yellow. From Canada, of course. And Félicia Duprat, who we saw a little bit earlier from France in the blue. Aya Novak, who was in the semi-finals of the K1 a little bit earlier in yellow. And the ever-smiling young fox, Noemi, who was actually in the commentary box earlier today in red. So Canada, France, Czech Republic and Australia. Australia, Naomi Fox, a very, very slow start there. Maybe a tactic to hand back. But it looks like in green it's Adja Novak. They're used to big water, so there'll be no problems there. Novak coming around 20 years old now. And secondly, red, it looks like Naomi Fox has come back from her weak start to move into second place. Eskimo turning, well, clearly no problems there. Will they choose to go the same side? Might have an advantage if you can knock her out. That's right, you can knock her out the way. Oh, they're a great advantage. Ideally, the third one will come down here and knock them both out the way now. No, it looks like, no, you have to go round the boat. So Naomi Fox now has taken advantage of fine tactical skills, coming second on the up. That seems to be the right thing to do. Comes through and takes an easy victory, and it looks like Adja Novak takes the second place from the Czech Republic. So Fox from Novak. And that should be the lineup for the semi-finals, Nain. So you need to have a wonderful start. You just need to make sure you place correctly so you don't miss out on the first gate. But the great thing about this sport is that it's very harmless fun, and they also really do give it all their all, and there's no holes barred either. Well, let's see what we're going to look at now. So there, the quarterfinals. Q on the right means qualified. So Veronika Ratova, Martina Wegman, Alexis Degremont and Sage Donaldly will go through to qualification 1. And Hilgetova, Loire, Fox and Novak will go through into semi-final 2. And I guess we're going to see some of the men flying down now. I have to see how that works out. The great thing about Po is you're helped up, as opposed to some of the long courses in Prague, for example. You need to walk back the 300 meters yourself. Lovely view, but not much fun. So London, Deep Creek, and Po definitely have an advantage on the other. Well, I suppose Liceo Dogel is also the same. Well, here we go. Oh, look at the big hitters there. Radilek, Lorny, Duguay, and Hayward in the first quarter-final. Hernand, Davy, Schmid, and Donabieta in the second. So all those top 4 could make it through to the final. And then maybe still good quality in the heats 3, Bergi, Cortez, Bersinger, Anderson. And in the heat 4, Prindis, who won last week, Vic Prindis, who was in the commentary with Dave, Martin Dugu, Renier. It's a quality field. I wouldn't like to be in the first heat there, first quarter final. So all the athletes are actually looking up at the big screen, the televised screen, actually looking at themselves at the moment. The athletes will see when they're being introduced. So who's going to be the favourite? Well, it's difficult to say. Vip Prindis, last week he won the slalom and the Beta-Cross, the slalom cross. Vavra Hadlik won the first weekend. There's Ben Hayward, who's a regular in this event, likes the big water, likes to have a bit of fun, from Canada clearly. Legend, multiple world champion, Eric Duguay. Beard seems to be going a bit longer every year. Vavra Hadilek, the ultimate showman. It's film star, by the way. He made a really good Second World War epic film earlier in the year. There's only 3 of them going through. 2 will go through, so who's going to come out? The Slalom boys against the Wild Waters. Go. Well, it's Vavra Hadilek in the red. Looks to have the first start as the other 2 are having a bit of a handbag fight. Coming around the first. Well, they're all safely around the first, and it's Hadilek really able to stretch out his muscles and come around. It's about an 80-meter stretch until gate number 2, which is Riverside left. Coming through it now, has to adjust slightly. Thum Degul and Ben Hayward at the moment, but Ben Hayward's not stupid. He might be tactically waiting to push whoever's going through the upstream first out the way. Vavra does his tip. They all do their very, very good flips. Now, if he'd gone the same side, Hayward should go the other side. He could stop those 2 fighting, maybe. I'm not sure if Eric Duguay managed to get round there in the blue top. We'll have to see. I don't think it's going to be irrelevant anyway. It looks like Vavra Hadilek is leading the ball from Ben Hayward from Canada. These 2 are going to be the first to cross the line, and Eric Duguay was muscled out of the... It's very rare that he's muscled out of the way of anything, but it looks like he was muscled out of the way of the red upstream and disqualified. No, so Lorny did not start. and they go, well, anyway, he's third, it's Academic. So Vavra Hadilek and Ben Hayward advance to the semi-finals. You can see from the start here, Vavra having a bit of a disappointing week because they were in Seo last weekend and they came across in a camper van. He's been followed around by a Red Bull photographer, and they went for a little swim one day, normally fairly cautious, and while they wait for 5 minutes from their van, about 50,000 euros of photographic equipment, all the details of the trip, his other projects were all stolen, so that's a bit of a downer, but he keeps smiling. And obviously we'll see him in the Prague World Cup later in the year. Didn't make the Olympics, the same as Ben Hayward. They both just pipped at the post there, unfortunately, for them. Heitor Urban Doniabeta from Spain. Gerard Schmidt from Austria. Local, well, he's from Belgium, but he's a local favourite here. Matthew Davy in green. And Samuel Hernans, the flyer from Spain, in red. So 4 to start. Hernandez absolute flies on the slalom course. Let's see what he does today. Matthew Davy, part of the Camping P team, so he looks to be going off to a good start. It looks like the right hand, the river left, has a good start. Matthew Davy is saying this is my home, so don't go out the way. Well, I think they've all gone through, but it's very much a case of Davy in green and Hernandez in red have taken advantage of the bit of a squabble upstream. If they're wise, they're just going to go coolly through it. Yeah, no problems there. Well, they have about a 5-second gap from the blue, who's Schmid from Austria. Coming around, crucial, very almost throws himself around Hernandez. You didn't have to touch, but are they both through successfully? Is someone going to knock them out of the way? That's your only hope if someone carries you down. Blue has a real problem there because he's missed the upstream. I think it's going to Academic because they both managed the way through unless he's stuck on the stopper. No, he comes through. So Samuel Hernandez, it takes the victory ahead of Matthew Davy, and they both advance to the first leg of the semi-final. Hernandez and Davy. So very much it's a canoe slalom's first semi-final. Ben Hayward, Radra Hadilek, Samuel Hernandez and Davy go through to the first semi-final. So potentially 2 more races. But it's a good way to end the weekend's activity. The sun is threatening to come out, which will be the first time in about 3 days. Lining up the athletes for the second set of 2 quarter-finals to find out which will go together in the second semi-final. If you see there the slow-mo, clearly the green of blue top of Schmid, he was taken so far downstream. Haley Daniels there just having a bit of extra biscuits, I suppose. Quentin Bergy from France in the red. Alistair Anderson in the yellow from Australia. Looking mean and keen, Thomas Berzinger, clearly French, but representing Argentina in the blue. And finally in the green, Cortez from Argentina of Wales, so 2 Argentinians. Ready, steady, go, and they're off, and it looks like the green tip
is coming through as they move round. Well, I think there might be a doubt over there. We could have a disqualification. You have to go the right side, the correct side of the green pole. It's quite a flexible wild pole. You just whack it out the way with your paddle, do whatever you like. Green at the moment. Cortez from Argentina certainly leading it out. This is impressive, the speed they managed to do their Eskimo turns. Now, our tactics come into play. Ideally, you'd have the first one goes in. If someone's quite clever, the last one should knock him out of the way. But no, it's going to be really close. It's the closest we've seen yet. Blue certainly leading. It's a battle here between green and red. Oh no! Green has gone the wrong way around. So he's going to be disqualified. Well, he's not going to be disqualified. It's going to take half an hour to come back. So it doesn't really matter. But blue from red. And blue, Thomas Bessenger. And red was disqualified. So it looks like it's Anderson from Australia. You tend to have about 1 in every 2 athletes being disqualified in this sport. But it's always just a bit of fun. Sometimes you can't avoid being pushed the wrong side of the floating poles. There you see the head went the wrong way. Have to have the head going the correct side. It wasn't his fault, but he was just one of the way it is, I guess. So yellow, well, they had a nice little stroll down the river. He managed to qualify for the semi-final by not doing anything wrong. So red went out on gate 2 and green went out on gate 5. 6 gates here, 1 upstream. France, Benjamin Reynier in blue. In yellow, it's Pierre Bourras, Jean-Pierre Bourras. He's going to the games for Senegal. Martin Dogu from Switzerland in green. And cool personified, Vit Prindus did an excellent job on the commentary, thank you, earlier today in red. Prindus is very quiet, but he just tends to win. Yesterday in the heats we saw Jean-Pierre, who's in the yellow, and Vit, who's in the red, come first and second in their last 16 match. And who's away? Oh, there's some. Well, you don't really want to do that. When blues, you knocked himself out. That's Renier from France. Yeah, he's back up again, which is good news. But no doubt about who's leading. It's quiet Vit Prindus, who thinks it's a slalom race, and a real battle for second place between Hugo from Switzerland and Jean-Pierre from Senegal, although born in Bretagne. So no doubt about who's going to be the first to the Eskimo turn. It's Vit Prindus for the Czech Republic. Didn't quite make the finals this weekend, but won last weekend in the slalom, and also crucially won the slalom cross last weekend. Very, very crucially timing. Who's going to be the second through? Oh, he's definitely going to be the green. It's Dugas from Switzerland who's taking advantage of the mess up and the battle on the other upstream. So no doubt about who's going to go through. It's Vit Prindus from the Czech Republic, and Dugas from Switzerland is quite keen to show off his moves. And the others were involved in some. So you don't want to get involved in a battle because it just knocks everyone out. We now know there's no appealing in this game. There's no anything like judges. So you, if you're given the victory, you go through. There's Vit Prindus, goes through to the semi-final. And it's good in a way that we've kept separate. We've kept. Oh, look at that! Well, they're pretty tough guys, but it's not a nice way to start a race. There he comes back into it. At least he'll have a beer and a laugh, hopefully later. So if you're just tuning in and wondering what it is, we've had a fun weekend of slalom and wild water in Po. It's actually in the Po whitewater course. It's an artificial course which was built in 2008. host the French national team, host the French national trials, part of the Spanish national trials, and a lot of other competitors come here. The crucial point, I suppose, about this course is that in 2017 it's going to host the World Championships for Slalom and Whitewater, which is going to be towards the end of September. Good photographers are checking out their best angles to go. Well, here we go. What we said a couple of minutes ago, Trevor Hadilek and Ben Haywood qualify from the first heat against Samuel Hernans and Matthew Doby. That's a flying semi-final that's going to be. And then Thomas Berginger and Alistair Anderson. Anderson was lucky because he did nothing but just didn't get himself knocked out against Vip Prindis and Martin Dugu. So they're all regulars, they're all big hitters. I suppose Alistair Anderson maybe the least known, but he had a good tactic, just come down safely and so far let the others knock each other out. Kayak cross women semi-finals. Veronica Vitova, Alexis Degremont, Martina Wegman and Sage Donnelly in the first heat against. Other semi-finals is going to be Naomi Fox, Amelka Hilgutova, Caroline Loire and Ida Novak. So they're on. Look at that, it's real blue sky with the ICF flag. Caroline Loire, oh sorry, Sage Donnelly in the yellow. Alexis Degremont in the green. Martina Wegman in the blue. And Veronika Votova from the Czech Republic in the red. They can see themselves on the screen, so they know exactly when to pose. So yellow, green, blue, red. Forget the colours of the boats, it's the colours of the bibs that count. Martina's making sure her GoPro is switched on the top of her head. Risky business that when you're actually going to do an Eskimo turn. I see the images. So the music's starting to pipe out. I guess they won't hear much when they're coming down. It's a really good crowd there. And they're off. And it looks in the middle, Martina Wegman, who won last week. She won also in Po last year as a last-minute entry. I think we have Veronika Vitova disqualified in red, so it looks like there's only going to be 3 boats in it. And it's a case of blue Wegman against who's in second place, no doubt about who's going first, against the green bib of Alexis Degremont of France. Well, they're coming for the Eskimo turn safely up. Now it's a case of choosing your strategy, which one you go. Wegman goes river left, and she has plenty of space, just manages to keep the volume down. But in green, we do have Alexis Degremont has fallen back. She went low on that gate, so there could be a few problems here. No doubt about who's going to go to the final, though. It's Martina Wegman against, I'm not sure, because I thought Veronika Vitova, I thought she went around the wrong way on the first gate. So we'll have to wait for official confirmation. DSQ, yeah, Votova is disqualified, so it is in green. Alexis Degremont from France who goes through to the final. I think the advantage of Martina Wegman, she does the sick line and she does all sorts of big events, so she knows exactly how to land the boat and keep the momentum going, which is key. It's quite a high drop. Hello, 2 minutes of fame. So this, you see the middle, the big grey tower in the middle, the Eiffel Tower, that's where the French on-course speakers are. There's Adia Novak from Slovenia in yellow, Hilgetova in green, local Loire from France in blue, and that only leaves Naomi Fox in red. They've all been competing this weekend. Oh, sorry, they haven't. No, Caroline Loire has been competing in the microphone competition and the finishing flag competition. Obviously a very distinguished ex-world champion, by the way, in the C1 category. So Novak, Hilgetova, Loire and Fox. Yellow, green, blue and red. And ready, go! Looks like Novak in the green bib had a good start, but in the blue it is also Caroline Loire from France. She'll certainly be the favourite. Oh no, I think red. I think it looks like Fox is out of the race. Gone round the wrong side. Caroline Loire certainly goes ahead, and it looks like in the yellow it looks like Novak is I think Naomi Fox went around the wrong way, so I don't think she's going to add to any value to this race. We'll have to see if that's the case. Well, the first through is Naomi Fox, followed by in yellow Adia Novak. They're again using the right tactics, waiting to see. Now you have to go round the outside, they're struggling, so certainly Fox is the first across the line. Whether she's going to have penalties, we don't know. You have to go to the right hand side of that, and we have a problem because green certainly hasn't made it round, so Hilgetova is going to be disqualified. Let's see who isn't going to be disqualified. Don't think Novak's been disqualified yet. So, well, we'll have to see. Caroline Loire possibly also not. Be interesting to see how they call it. Yeah, Fox was disqualified, so it's Novak and Loire go through to the final. Bit unlucky there for young Fox because she is knocked out, not against her fault, in the first gate. So 2 Frenches in the final, which is what the locals certainly want. Well, they have the winner as Adia Novak. It's a bit confusing there. We'll have to see how that works out. Yes, sorry, we have Novak and Loire from Slovenia. Look at this. If you look at the left, well, yeah, Naomi Fox, no fault of her own. She just gets barged out the way, and the head goes the wrong side of the hanging gate, unfortunately for her. Well, there you go. Evidence of what we've seen. So going through to the final is Martina Wegman, Alexis Degremont against Adia Novak and Caroline Loire. So experience and youth. Will they be tired or will they still be enthusiastic? And in the kart cross men's semi-final, do we have a treat for you? Some really big hitters coming through here. They're down to the last 8. Top 2 from each semi-final will progress into the final. Radelec, Hernans, Davy and Haywood in the first one against Prindis, Duguid, Bessinger and Anderson. Let's see what colours they're lining up. That's very pretty. There's a good team of volunteers out here giving the kids a lot of fun. Let's see them on the start line, please, so we can actually confirm which colours they are. Well, the t-shirt's out now, the sun's come out, warms up quickly. Apparently the forecast next few days is going to be good. Couldn't have been worse the last 3 days. But if it could have been possibly, we had not much wind, so that's okay. So there's yellow Ben Haywood. Canada. Has a Hobbit run, you can read all about it. Matthew Davies, that's not Samuel Hernandez, that's Matthew Davies in blue. Hernandez in green. Don't believe the graphics you see on the screen at first. And it should be Mr. Havelek in red. Well, a few shaman here, or 4 shaman in fact. The form would go for Radilek in the, where's he, the red on the right hand side of your screen, because he won the event in Ivrea 2 weeks ago. So it follows, it goes on from the end of the World Cup Slalom, and it looks like there's a certain advantage of he's going to have to really push to go inside the gate here. Radilek, oh, I don't think he did it, unfortunately. I think it's going to be the second favourite out. So now the competition, red's going away, but I think it's a bit immaterial, and yellow, it's the moment, it's Ben Haywood in his very distinctive sit-up straight style. Had neck problems, that might explain a bit of the style. But in blue, it looks like it's going to be Doby. So if it stays like it is, Radilek, I don't think he's made it through. Ben Haywood in the yellow bib, and Matthew Doby in the blue. So far doing well. Hernandez is not stupid. He might try and knock someone out of the way, but maybe he's gone the wrong way. Well, I think I'm not sure that Bravo has actually won this. Normally he salutes when he does. Let's see. Sort of. Ben Haywood crosses the line. Second, Samuel Hernandez is third. I'd put my money on Haywood and Hernandez. We have to see. Very good to Radilek. How he wasn't knocked out, I didn't understand. Anyway, good luck to him. Okay. Maybe have a slow-mo of gate number 1 just to see. Here he comes. Look at the red. The idea is you have to put your head through. Well, not really. Anyway, if he makes it through, that's fine. Normally, he feels he doesn't get the luck with calls, but today I certainly think it's made up for some of those interesting moments in the past. Anderson in the yellow from Australia. Bersinger representing Argentina in blue. Dugu in green for Switzerland. And Prindes with the red for the Czech Republic. There's a bit of a noise in the background here. I'm just taking my clothes off because it's a bit hot in here. Here we go. And it looks like Prindes has, well, they're all claiming to go through, but green, well, it's a bit difficult on the first one. Maybe it's a little bit too tight. You have to worry the course designers. So, yellow looked like he missed it, but I was wrong last time, so see who can go through. But they're very, very close coming up to it. Look at this. It's green and red, and it doesn't matter which way you go through. Bersinger in blue goes from first to last. So at the moment in red, it is Vit Prindes as normal, stays out of trouble and is leading the race. From the green, this is Duga. So there's no doubt about who's going to take the victory, and that's going to be Vit Prindes for the Czech Republic. They're keeping it. I'm not sure either went the right way through. I don't think anyone's got the right 53 essence. Maybe Yellow gaze correctly. So it could be Anderson. Wasn't he knocked out on the first gate? We'll have to see. Prindis and Berchinger, they decided not to knock people out. Oh, that's right. Berchinger was disqualified, which I thought he was. So no doubt about the winner of it. Prindis so far yet to be involved in a battle. This first gate is so close to it's over the first drop, and it's so close that look, if you look, difficult to say who came through. So when it's at a horizontal level, everyone goes through, I suppose. But they're impressively quick on the roll. Maybe we should get them to a double roll or something to make it more interesting. But here you go. This is gate number 2. Forwards, backwards, side, as long as you go through it. So Martin Dugard was given the second place in the second semi-final. So the final is going to be Radlek, Haywood, Prindis, Dugard. That's going to be a top one there. Well, final time for the women. Degremont, Loire, Novak and Wegman. Be a bit careful with the actual colours there because they tend to change. Let's see where they're going to be. They're on the start line. If we have a closer, there's the rabbit, which is a blow-up rabbit, which is taken down about 30 times this weekend. Every time it rains, they have to take it down, but luckily it blows up quite quickly. Lots of games for children. There's climbing walls, there's a chance to practice your skills in the water. It's been a real shame about the weather because the facility is absolutely fantastic here. Hello, I'm having a good time. The sun's finally out, mummy. Well, we're ready for the final of the Women's Slalom Cross 2016 at the Po World Cup. So yellow is going to be Wegman. Martina Wegman from Holland. Ida Novak in blue for Slovenia. Caroline Loire in green from France. Big chair. And the second Frenchie, maybe a surprise to come in this final. In red, it's Alexis Degremont. So 4 colours. The rules are simple. Keep your both hands on the paddle at all time. Go round correctly the right side of the gate. Do the Eskimo turn between the 2 roll bands and finally go upstream in the choice of the 2 red poles, and the first over the line without being disqualified is the winner. It's as simple as that. So Wegman, Degremont, Novak, Loire. 2 Frenches, Slovenia and Holland. Wegman in yellow, she's won I think the last 2 or 3 events she's gone into, but certainly hasn't had the best start. Looks like in red we do have a very, very determined Degremont from France. I don't know who came through the right ones, but there's no doubt about who had the quickest start. So Alexis Degremont from France is really entertaining the big crowd on the bankside, just out of your picture, because the picture, you can see in the background, you can see really 10 levels of people line, and here she comes for the Eskimo turn. Just inside the line. They try and all turn before the drop because that's where the water's the smoothest. Now it's going to be interesting if anyone tries to tactically pull them out. I think she's going to... Oh, that's so close to call. It looks like on the far side the green is going well. Green against yellow. So if that would be the case, it would be Caroline Loire who's coming over. We just have to see if there's any disqualifications, but she's been stuck a bit in the water. The walker's pushing her over, holding her in the hole there. But it looks like Caroline Loire takes it for this. She's been cheering on people all weekend, so I suppose that's justice. Looks like Caroline Loire has taken it. 2 disqualifications. Novak comes second. Now look at that. She's been doing that with the winner's flag all weekend. Caroline Loire, ex-world champion in the slalom, comes through and wins. Many French victories this weekend. I don't know what the prize is. I suppose pride of winning the championships here, being named the queen of the slalom cross. There's Antonio, who is the handyman and the driver of one of the trucks. Does excellent work, never complains. Very Italian. So that's the first one out of the way. Home victory. Whoops, you can grab it if you want to, just have to come through. But unfortunately she was disqualified later on. There, you have to go the other side, unfortunately. That was a debutant's mistake, because she was all clear by herself. She took the wrong line slightly. Caroline Loire from France absorbs the cheering of the fans. Look at this, it's actually best weather we've had. It's such a shame it wasn't like this before. But there you go, it hasn't been good competition. And here we go, Caroline Loire takes it for France. Ida Novak second for Slovenia, and Alexis Degermont and Wegermont. I don't know how that works actually, because they both made the final but they both disqualified, so we'll give them equal honours. Now the last event of Po 2016. Remember, all the action is geared around preparations for 2017 World Championships. There's no World Championships this year. Why? Well, because it's an Olympic year. Popeni's community agglomeration, and the finalists are Hradelek, Prindis, Duguid and Haywood. So these are all well-known faces in the slalom community. 2 from the Czech Republic, 1 from Switzerland, 1 from Canada. So no French in the final. I think it's the first time we've seen this for the whole weekend. But I guess the fans are here to look at the showmen, and we certainly have some showmen here. Well, Ben Haywood from Canada, real fine ambassador of everything to do with life. Architectural student, by the way. And Martin Duguid from Switzerland has a different routine every final. Well, he keeps the same sign, forever Hradelek. Opening a new bar in Prague, by the way, worth checking out, by the waterfront. And Vit Prindis, who won last week. So Hradelek won 2 weeks ago. Prindis won last week. Ben Haywood and Duguid would like to win their maiden victory. Tension building. Are you ready to go? And they're off. And it looks like the 2 Czechs in the greeny boats are leading at the moment. It's Prindis in the red top and Vavra Hradelek. Oh, that's a clever move. Whack it out the way and keep going. Turn. Vit Prindis at the moment leading from Vavra Hradelek, who's barging blue out of the way. You're allowed to do that, I suppose, as long as he doesn't hurt. It's poor old blue out the way. Here we go. And it's first through is Prindis. Deciding when the best time is to turn, and it looks like it's before the actual jump. A bit held up there. You see in the Red Bull habits, Hradelek coming through. Is he going to come and take a victory? Could be a famous victory for Vavra Hradelek against his compatriot Vit. Oh no, he's just got stuck in the hole, and Vit Prindis takes the victory on the last section. They're best mates, they train together. So I suppose it's a double Czech victory. regret that. Vavra Hadilek stuck in the final hole. Vitprindis wins for the second row in a week. So the Czechs obviously have a secret here. I know they have a lot of fun on the water. I guess that must be it. Always trying to take the maximum of pleasure out of every single run. Don't know when the last back-to-back victory was. But they're all away to a clean start. And then look at this tactical. If the pole's not in the right place, I'll move it out the way. Here you go, look at this. Sweep it out the way. Look, you see this next one, look. Vavra Hadilek, it's his to throw away, and he throws it away. It's almost like a tactical overtaking. It's like I said you'd win, you can. Absolute delight from Vitprindis for the Czech Republic, who takes a second victory in a row. And I guess we're going to show the official results. Well, Prindis, Hadilek, Duguid and Haywood are all four champions. They all made a really entertaining final. That is, we'll call it kayak cross, slalom cross, coming from Po. It's been a lot of entertainment. I hope you've enjoyed it. We certainly have. Well, you can see the layout of the course. You see it's on the left of your screen where the gate number 2 was. Really fast, choppy water. And here's the end. Well, I think that's just about it from us here live from Po. We've had a lot of fun. I'm Matthew Layton, keeping you informed as ever what's going on. There's Vavra Hadilek, always happy, always celebrating life. Great ambassadors for the sport. Well, we've seen a lot of activity from Po here. If you like it, you certainly let us know. If you want to keep up on any activity coming from the kayakers, the canoers, anything to do with this sport, the wild water, moving water, look for Twitter at Planet Canoe. If you like what you see in this weekend, you can go to YouTube, you can go to Facebook. We've been streaming there, so there's hours and hours of activity to look back on. Thanks to all the co-commentators we've had this weekend. Thanks to all the athletes, especially huge thanks to Tony Estangue, his crew, to all the TV men who've been working in the rain 18 hours a day, and to everyone out there we haven't yet mentioned, the volunteers, the judges and the spectators. It's been a lot of fun, a lot of great activity, and make a place in your diary for next year for the World Championships in September. For slalom fans, 2 more big events, Prague in September, the week after that is Tachin for the World Cup final. Thank you very much and see you soon. Goodbye.